Hello, my name is Karina. I'm with IMotion Fitness, and this is about a 40-minute taster of what we can do for seniors and beginners wanting to take just mixture of Pilates and yoga and stretching and strengthening. Sometimes I do standing, sometimes on the mat, sometimes with a chair, sometimes I combine these things. Today I'm going to do a little bit of standing and then get down on the mat. So, and I have a set of weights here as well, just to use. I'm just going to sprinkle them in here and there. They're 2-pound weights. You could use 1 pound. You don't even have to use weights or soup cans if you're at home. So we're just going to start standing. And it's important to remember, if anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. So I don't know what injuries anybody who's watching might have or issues with their body. So just be mindful. If something doesn't feel right, listen to your body. You may just take away certain things we do in the class, or you may be able to do all of it, or just a couple things, but patience, and just do what you can. So we're going to start with a little bit of balance and posture here. So I'm standing on my mat. You don't have to be on your mat. You can be on the floor for this part. Just make sure you're stable. I'm going to cross my arms one on top of the other like a genie. You could have your hands on your hips if you like, but this will just help to make you more aware of your scapula, your upper back muscles. So you want to think about lining everything up: head, shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, ankles. So nice and tall, feet about hip width apart, parallel. And we're going to start to bend and stretch the legs. So we're not doing an actual squat. We're just bending straight down as much as we can and coming back up. More for ankle mobility. So keeping your knees tracking over your toes and keeping a nice long spine. So we don't want to round the back. We don't want to be leaning too far back. Don't think about weight in the heels or anything right now. You're just going straight down. You're just bending and stretching. It doesn't have to be a deep bend. So as I said, if you have knee or foot issues, just do what you can. And think about moving with your breath. Inhale down. Exhale up. Sync the movement with your breath, and then you'll go at the perfect pace for you. Relax your shoulders. One more time. And then we're going to lift and lower the heels. So again, you can keep your arms like this, or hands on hips, or always good to have a chair or something nearby to hold on to if you need. Otherwise, we're going to take a breath in. Exhale, lift the heels. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Now you don't have to lift your heels high. Maybe they just barely get off the floor. You're just doing whatever you can do. Focusing on balance, and we're also stretching the toes a little bit. Definitely working the legs and even the core for balance. So trying not to lose that nice posture. Just doing what you can. Good. 2 more times. 1 more. And down. Relax the arms. And then just walk out the feet. Walking on the spot. Roll your shoulders back as you do this. Walk and roll. Big deep breaths. Good. Hands on hips, taking your feet a little wider than hip width apart, and hula hoop your hips. Go in a circle in one direction. Nice and loose. So trying to keep your knees straight so that you can get into the backs of the legs a little bit more, feeling a stretch. Again, you can do big circles or smaller circles depending how your hips feel. Switch directions. Still breathing. Coming back to the center. Bring your feet back to hip width apart. And all you're going to do is lift just your toes off the floor, up and down. So all the rest of your foot stays down, just your toes curling up and down. Lift and down. All of them. Try to get them all up. Still thinking about your posture while you do this. Still breathing. 2 more times. Last time, lift those toes and down. Good. Take the feet a little wider apart again, and maybe you want to turn the toes out a little bit if that's more comfortable. Hands behind your head. Little side bend. So your arms are heavy, they're up by your head, which means you have more weight to take side to side. So we don't want to do a really big side bend. We don't want to go because we're heavy. It's a heavy situation to lift. So hands can be behind your head or on your head. Take a big breath in and lengthen up and then over. Exhale, not too far. Coming back up and over to the other side. So just make sure you're breathing. Try to keep your hips in the center. So instead of sassing out to the side, keep them in the center. Keep your leg muscles working. Big lengthen. Think lengthen more than bend. Lengthen over. Good. Keep breathing. One more time. And center. Good. We're going to do that one more time each way. I want you to actually focus on your stomach muscles. So as you pull back to the center, make sure your back isn't doing all the work. You want your stomach working. So we're going to do that one more time each way. We're going to lengthen up and over. Now to pull your back to the center, tighten your tummy. Work from the tummy, tummy, tummy. One more time, other side. Lengthen up and over, and then work from those core muscles. Good. Keep your hands up here. A little twist, side to side. Twist, 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 and your knees can soften, your knees can bend as you twist. If that's comfortable, just keep length in the torso, length in the upper body. Still breathing. One more. Back to the center. Release the arms down. Nice. Okay. We are going to rotate the ankles, but we're going to use some balance. So again, you can hold on to something or test out that balance. So little bend in the standing leg if you like. Other foot forward and just lifting it off the floor to rotate your ankle. So if you find you're wibbling all over the place, hold on to something. That's fine. Just make sure you rotate your ankle each way a few times. Really spread those toes and breathe. And then put it down, other side. So think this time, making sure again you're not sitting into that hip. Stay tall. Press down into that foot to help support as you rotate your ankle and breathe. So we want to make sure we're not sitting into the hip. Even when we're standing, doing dishes, putting on a shirt, I don't know, anything. Make sure you're not sitting into your hip if possible. We do it unconsciously. Try not to as much as possible. It happens. And put the foot down. Wrists, same thing. Rotate the wrists, but as you rotate the wrists, move the fingers around. Seems like a simple movement, but the fingers get forgotten a lot. And we're going to work with the fingers a little bit more. We're going to pretend to climb a rope on purpose to really make a tight fist and then spread the fingers. So working that clenching feeling. So we could reach up, we could reach over, we could reach forward. We're going to reach forward. We're going to reach, grab, spread the fingers, grab and pull. Really imagine that you're pulling, I don't know, pulling a boat to shore. So spread the fingers and then tight fist to pull in. Work the hands. Spread and close. Just a few times to work the hands. One more time. Just one more. And release. Shake them out. Good. Okay. Another thing for your shoulders. If you put your hands just at your low back or just below your low back around your sacrum, one hand, other hand on top. That's it. Just stand nice and tall and notice how, let me see, where do my elbows go? A little bit forward. Notice how my arms and shoulders kind of go forward naturally a little bit. Without changing the rest of your posture too much, big breath in, pull those elbows back a little bit, opening the chest. So I'm not overextending my back, I'm just pulling those elbows back a little bit and then release. Inhale, pull the elbows and shoulders back just a little bit. Don't overdo it. And exhale, release. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Release the arms down. Just give them a little swing back and forth. Release a little bit. Reset. And we'll do one more standing exercise before we come down to the mat. Just like we started bending and stretching the knees a little bit, we're going to do that now. We're going to bend the knees just a little bit. Hands on your thighs. We're going to do a little cat and cow yoga stretch basically. We're going to inhale to lower the belly, lengthen the spine, even a little bit of an arch, and then exhale to round and curl up a little bit, chin to chest. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, curl. So we're working the legs a little bit right now, bonus, but really lengthening and stretching the spine. Think about your neck. So as you go to lengthen your spine, instead of looking up, just lengthen your neck like a turtle coming out of its shell. So keeping the back of the neck nice and long. So instead of looking up and cranking the back of your neck, just keep your neck in line with your upper back. One more time each way. We're going to finish in the curled spine position. So the next time you curl your spine, roll yourself up, nice and tall. I lied. We'll do one more standing thing. Just your neck. Just your neck. We're going to tilt the head side to side, slowly. Don't overdo it. Again, just breathe and tilt. And then we'll bring the head back to the center and turn the head side to side. So as you're turning your head side to side, think about that posture. So instead of just focusing on the head and neck, think about your overall posture. Where's your pelvis? Do you have a tippy pelvis? Try to get it vertical. Stack everything up and breathe. One more time. And back to the center. And we'll come down to the mat. We're going to come down onto the back. So making your way down onto your back, feet flat on the floor, knees bent, and we're going to find our neutral pelvis and neutral upper body position, your shock absorbent position for exercise, and we'll also do some stretching down here as well. So if you put your hands on your pelvis and just let it rock back and forth, let it tip and tilt back and forth, and as you just nice and loose, don't overthink it, just rock your pelvis. And as you do this, notice things that happen. Notice your low back. As you tip your pelvis in towards your belly button, your low back jams into the mat. And as you tip your pelvis away, it comes way away from the floor and your ribs might puff out. So just noticing these things, and then gradually start to find a level pelvis. So your pelvis becomes flat, like a little plate or a shelf. You could put a glass of water on there. It wouldn't spill. It's nice and flat. Once you find that position, you can even peek down or find your hip bones, make sure they're level. Once you find that, notice your low back. It might still be off the floor. That's your natural low back curve. So just as you were standing, you had a little curve in your back. So your back doesn't have to be completely on the floor. This is your natural curve in your spine. I can get my whole hand under my curve. I have a very curvy low back. So my pelvis is nice and level. I have my natural low back curve. The back of my ribs are on the mat. So my ribs are just relaxed in my body. They're not puffing out. Back of the ribs are on the mat, and I'm going to breathe through my rib cage. So not so much through the belly or the chest, through the ribs. So think about taking a big breath in through the nose, expand the rib cage. Exhale, contract, close it. Like you have a big balloon in your rib cage. Inhale, blow it up. Exhale, deflate it. maybe from childbirth or from surgery or just in general very weak abdominal muscles, can't do too much, this is a great little mini ab workout in itself. And it's also very important to support your back, your low back. So you're in this neutral position, imagining you're on the beach, you're lying in the sand, and you want to imprint your low back into the sand. So we take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your low back closer to the mat. Doesn't have to touch, but closer. And then inhale, come back to that neutral position. Exhale, bring your low back to imprint into the sand underneath you a little bit. Inhale, back to neutral. So it's very subtle. You're just feeling your stomach muscles tighten a little bit more as your low back comes closer to the floor, and then rock back to that neutral position. If you see me, I have my hands on my pelvis. You can see my pelvis. It's a very subtle tilt of the pelvis and low back position changing, and back to neutral. One more time. Inhale, neutral. And then we're going to come into bridge pose. We're going to lift the hips off the floor, and we're going to try to control the pelvis while we do that. So walking the feet a little bit closer to your hips. Be aware not to walk too close to your hips. Sometimes we walk our feet so close in that when we lift our hips, the knees are further out than the feet, and the knees get cranky, and so we don't want that. So you're just walking your feet closer to your hips, but not too close. And we want to exhale where the most work is. So we want to exhale to lift the hips. So we're going to take a breath in to stay, and then exhale, press the feet into the floor and lift the hips up. Just find your comfort zone for how high you want to lift, and then inhale, articulate through the spine to lower back down. Exhale, press the feet down, lift the hips. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time. Try to get your tailbone to come down last. Keep going. Exhale, lift. Relax your rib cage. Make sure your neck has lots of room. Inhale to lower down. One more time. We're going to stay up this time. Lifting the hips, and we're going to march the feet. So you have choices. You could just lift one heel and then the other, just to test the waters without lifting your foot off the floor. Or you can start to lift, transferring weight from one foot down to the other foot. So on my knees are bent, I'm not lifting too high. You could even lift lower than this. I'm lowering my foot down, toe, ball, heel. Keeping my hips up, and I'm transferring weight from one leg to the other, but I'm trying to stay in the same area. I'm not tilting side to side. I'm not going like this with my hips. The hips are staying pretty well in the center. This is where you find out if one set of glute muscles is weaker than the other. Usually there's a side that's weaker than the other. One more time each side, breathing. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down, and then slowly lower the hips and hug the knees into the chest. And just do a little rock side to side. Maybe rotate the ankles again. Deep breath. Good. And then feet on the floor. Find that nice neutral position again. Level out the pelvis, natural low back curve, back of the ribs on the mat, and think about your head and neck, looking straight up to the ceiling. And everybody's head is shaped differently. Some people naturally look back a little bit or look down a little bit, but you want to look straight ahead. You want that neck to be nice and long, and we'll just practice a little head nod. So you're looking at the red traffic light. Look down at the green traffic light. So you're going from red, passing yellow, going down to the green light, and look right back up at the red light. So just like our little imprint release, it's very subtle. The head nod is very subtle. You're lengthening the back of your neck. You're tucking your chin just slightly to lengthen your neck, and then looking straight ahead again. It's very subtle. You still want at least a fist distance between your chin and your chest. It's just a little head nod. Back and forth. One more time, a little head nod, look down at the green light, and back up at the red light facing straight ahead. So just being aware of the head position. We're going to maintain this nice neutral position as we reach the arms up to the ceiling with the palms facing in. And then inhale, reach the arms back. Exhale, reach the arms up. All we're doing is reaching the arms back, inhale, exhale, reach up. But you want to keep this neutral position. So as you reach your arms back, you don't want your ribs to suddenly puff out. You want to keep the back of the ribs on the mat the whole time. So everybody's range of motion with their arms and shoulders is going to be different. Keep your shoulders happy. Be patient. Just reach back as far as you comfortably can and notice how it feels. Breathing. One more time. Inhale back. Exhale up, and now we're going to take the arms out to the side. So same thing, pay attention to those ribs. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Back up to face the ceiling. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And again, notice you might have tight neck and shoulders. You might feel tingling in the arms. You might have tightness there. Your arms don't have to touch the floor. Keep those ribs in. Maybe one arm can go further out than the other. You never know. 2 more times. One more time. Back up to the ceiling. And relax the arms down. And take the arms out to the side a little bit. This is where our imprint is going to come in very handy. We're going to find that imprint again where you're pulling your stomach just a little bit tighter. Take a breath in. Exhale. Imprint that low back a little bit more and lift one leg at a time up to a tabletop position. Okay, the arms are out to the side to support, and we're just going to do a gentle tip of the legs side to side. They're heavy. Your hip is going to lift, but you don't want your shoulders to lift. And again, keep those ribs in. We're just doing a gentle tip side to side, but it involves some stomach work. Just side to side, breathing. Inhale, tip. Exhale, center. Inhale, tip. Exhale, center. One more time each way. And slowly come back to the center. Arms by your sides for just a few toe taps. So we're going to tap one foot down, lift up, other foot down, lift up. Inhale, tap, exhale, pull up. Inhale, exhale. 4 more. Inhale, down, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, last one. Inhale, exhale. Good. So that imprint we were doing before, when you tap your toes down, that avoids your low back coming way away from the floor, which we don't want. So by imprinting, by tightening that tummy, you're trying to keep your back in that same neutral position. Your low back is a good indicator of that. You want your low back to stay close to the mat. Doesn't have to be touching, but close. And then lower one foot at a time back to the mat. Just windshield wipe the knees side to side. Okay. We're going to come over onto one side. So being aware that, if your hips are bugging you, you might want to bend your bottom leg just to take a bit of the pressure off, or put a towel under there or something. Or you could stretch both legs out underneath. So depends how you feel. Your head, you could rest your head in your hand if you like, but your neck will be happier probably if you keep it long like this. We're going to lift the top leg. Bring this hand in front for support. We're going to take a big breath in to stay, and then exhale to lift the leg. It doesn't have to go high. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Now, if you can, just brain, we're going to exhale, point the foot to lift. Inhale, flex to lower the leg. So pointing the foot up, flex the foot to lower down, but really reaching through the toes and really pressing through the heel so the whole leg feels it. The whole leg is working. And again, I'm not lifting my leg too high, just a little higher than hip level. You decide. You don't have to go high, just up and down, flexing and pointing that foot. One more time. And down. And then we're going to come up onto the forearm and bend the knees. We're going to lift the hips off the floor. We're going to do a little lift like that. Slower than that, but we're going to do that. So again, depends how your shoulder feels. You may want to sit this one out if it's not for you, but if you'd like to try it, we're just going to do 4 on each side. So we're just doing 4 on this side. Elbow under the shoulder, hand resting on your leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, press your forearm into the mat, lift the arm up. Inhale, control back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. And 1 more. Really press that forearm into the mat. And down. Nice job. Coming right over to the other side. So again, depending how your hips feel, maybe one's fine and one's cranky, you never know. You could bend the bottom leg for this or stretch it out. Stacking the hips. Just starting with the leg lift. So we take a breath in and exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Try adding the flex and point. Point to lift. Flex to lower. Reaching through the toes. Pressing through the heel. Get that leg working. Bulge those muscles. Exhale up. Inhale, flex down. Follow your breath. Relax your forehead. 2 more times. Last one. Good. Lowering down. Bending the knees, coming up onto that forearm. So I'm on a very padded mat, by the way. If you're on a yoga mat or something, they're paper thin, so feel free to put a towel or something under your forearm and elbow as well for extra support. Hand on top, elbow under shoulder, just 4 on this side. Take a breath in, exhale, lift the hips, inhale down, controlling the movement. Exhale up, inhale down. 2 more, lifting and down. Last one, press that arm down and lower the hips. Good. Bringing yourself up and over to hands and knees. So again, depending how your knees and wrists are, this one may or may not be for you, or sometimes you can do certain exercises like this on your back in kind of a dead bug position too. So you could actually do this next one on your back. I can show you in a second, but if you can, be in this position. Head in line with your neck, in line with your upper back. And I have my hands under my shoulders, my knees under my hips. And despite my loose shirt, I am trying to find a neutral position on my hands and knees. So I'm trying to get my pelvis parallel to the floor so my stomach isn't just sinking and my low back has no support. I'm tightening my tummy to support that low back. All right, we're just going to do something with the weights here. So I'm grabbing one weight. I have a 2-pound weight. 1 pound is plenty for this. You don't really need a lot of weight. You don't even have to use a weight for this. It's just up to you if you want to use a weight. We're going to take 1 one arm out to the side and down. So we're exhaling to lift. Inhale to lower. I'm not twisting. I'm just seeing how high I can lift my arm without rotating the rest of my body. So it's all about that range of motion. Don't overdo it. So if I was on my back doing this, instead of hands on the floor, my hands are in the air and I'm opening and closing that arm. I do it this way sometimes as an exercise too. It's great. But today, in this video, I'm doing it on hands and knees. But you could do this on your back if your wrists are bugging you or your knees are bugging you. Exhale, lift or open. Inhale, down. Try not to change your spine. And one more time. And down. Sit back for a moment and rotate your wrists. Or if you're on your back, do a little stretch. Maybe hug your knees in or something. And then we'll do that on the other side. I'll just turn around so you can see. So again, if you're on your back, just change hands. If you're on hands and knees, weight in your other hand just out to the side so it has room. Big breath in, exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. So I'm not rotating. It's all about my arm, my upper back, my shoulder. You could bend your elbow a bit if you need to. Again, listen to your shoulder. If the weight is too much, put the weight down. Your arm is a weight. So don't feel you have to use the weights. I'm just sprinkling them in a little bit here. Exhale up. Inhale down. Two more. Last one. And down. Sit back. Roll those shoulders, rotate those wrists. Good. We're going to use the weights in a seated position. But before we do, we're going to just do a little back extension exercise. So you could do this down on your stomach. But today, I'm going to do it like this. If kneeling doesn't work for you, you could stick a cushion under there if that's comfortable, or you could even sit cross-legged or on something. We're not going to be here long. We're just going to put our hands behind the head with the elbows open. I still have my good posture. Everything's stacked up nice and tall. I'm going to take a big breath in to lift my sternum. And then exhale, come back. It's very subtle. I'm just trying to lift my chest up to the ceiling. I'm not over back bending. I'm just opening. And then back to neutral. Two more times. Big breath in. Open like you're opening those elbows. Open the chest. Look up a little bit. Exhale. Back. One more time. Inhale. Just a little look up. And back to the center. Release the arms down. Roll the shoulders back. Okay. Now we're going to sit. So it really depends how your hip flexors feel, what you want to sit on. You might not need to sit on anything. You might want to sit on a chair for this part, or on a box, on a cushion, anything like that. Your legs could be out, they could be crossed. Whatever's comfortable for you, find your weights. Again, you don't have to use them. It's just if you want to use weights, but listen to your body. We're going to pick them up. Out to the side with the palms up. My elbows are slightly bent. I'm going to bring the weights together in front and then open out to the side. I'm not opening all the way. My arms are staying slightly in front of my shoulders. So just to make sure again that my rib cage doesn't take over or my back position doesn't change, I'm not opening right out to the side. I'm stopping right about here. I want to be able to see my arms and my peripheral vision. And I'm not, so you want to make sure when you open your arms, your chest doesn't puff out. So keeping that nice tall posture. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Relax the shoulders. Two more. Last one. arms for a minute. A little shoulder roll. We're going to do a half curl. So keeping that nice tall posture, lifting the arms up, palms up, little half curls. So different ways to breathe here. You can do fast little exhales, or just breathe in and out. As long as you're breathing, that's all that matters to me. Stay tall. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Now we're going to use the weights to weigh down the hands, the arms, for a stretch. So I have toning balls. You might have the grabby kind, the dumbbell weight. Whatever it is, take it out till just your fingertips are on them. So your arms are really reaching out to the sides on those weights, just resting on the weights. We're going to tilt the head side to side, but stay for a breath on each side. So, as I mentioned before, if you have tight neck and shoulders, you may feel some interesting sensations going down the arms. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Hopefully not pain. If you feel pain, back off a bit. But if it's just kind of a tingling or interesting tight sensation, be with it, breathe through it. Focus on your breathing. Good, one more time. And back to the center. Relax your arms on your lap, roll those shoulders back. Good, and coming back to the spine, we're going to take the rib cage in a big circle. So again, whether you're sitting in a chair, on a cushion, or your legs are crossed, whatever position is comfortable for you, and your knees and your hips and your back. Imagine there's a pole in the center of you and you're taking your rib cage around that pole and taking your time. Switching directions, big deep breaths. As you do this, relax your forehead, deep breaths. And then slowly come back to the center. Find that nice tall posture. I'm going to sit on a box just for those sitting on something, just so you can see. Same idea. I'm just, if you need to be sitting up a little higher, same idea. I'm going to squeeze the shoulders up to my ears. I'm going to take a big breath in, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale to roll them back and down. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, back and down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. Good. A little twist. It's called a spine twist. We're just going to do a very basic version of it. So arms come out to the side. You could also do that genie movement or cross, hands on shoulders. This is, obviously your arms are heavy, they're out to the side, so see what works for you. We're going to take one big breath in, stay tall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Other side, twist. Relax the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take your eyes with you. Shifty look with your eyes as you look over your shoulder. Stretch your eyeballs. They need to stretch too. So as you look over your shoulder, shifty eyes, shifty gaze. One more time each side. Inhale, one more. Exhale. Inhale. Relax the arms down. Good. Relax your hands on your lap. And we're just going to focus on your eyeballs. Without moving your head, look up. You can blink, but look up without moving your head, just your eyes. And then look down, just your eyes. And then look to one side, just your eyeballs, don't move your head. Keep breathing. And shifty look to the other side. And back to the center. Close your eyes for a second, and then when you open them really wide. Open your eyes really, really wide like you just won the lottery. Really, really wide. And then close your eyes, take a breath, and gently open your eyes. Yay. Roll those shoulders back a little bit if you need to. We're going to end with just a little wrist stretch. So, palms together, and gently push one hand back and then the other. So I'm using my finger pads too. I'm not just using my wrists or my palms, I'm using my finger pads too. And I'm being gentle. I don't know if it looks that way, but I am. I'm not pushing really hard. Be nice to your wrists. Just a few times, and then interlace your fingers and make a little crazy 8 with your wrists. Switch directions, if that's even possible. I think it is. And then push your palms away and round your back. Inhale those interlaced fingers all the way up. Exhale, release them down. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this little taste of what we do. As always, not everything always works for everybody, but there's always something. And we use a lot of small props, like little weights, chairs, flex bands, mini balls, which can also, there are things at home you can use to simulate a lot of these things, so we try to stick with that if people are working out from home, for example, or somewhere where there aren't a lot of props. And remember to breathe and keep moving. And thank you for joining.